If statistics scares you, this video might just save your thesis and your Viva. Many doctors feel confident while collecting clinical data, examining patients, and writing discussions, but the moment statistics comes in, anxiety takes over. The truth is, statistics is not something to fear, it's something to understand at a basic, logical level. And once you understand the simple principles behind it, it stops feeling like a threat and starts becoming a powerful support for your research. Doctors often fear statistics for very real reasons. A single wrong test can lead to rejection or major corrections in a thesis. During Viva, examiners often focus on the methods and analysis section, and that's where many candidates feel nervous. Questions like, "Why did you choose this test?" or "Was your data normally distributed?" can create panic if the answers are unclear. Similarly, when a paper is submitted to a journal, reviewers may comment more on statistical choices than on clinical observations. This makes many doctors feel that statistics is a complicated and risky area, where one small mistake can weaken months or years of hard work. But the fear mostly comes from confusion, not from the actual difficulty. Here's the golden rule that simplifies everything. Statistics does not depend on the software you use. It depends on three simple things: the type of data you have, the number of groups you are comparing, and how your data is distributed. Whether you use SPSS, Excel, R, or any other software, the logic remains the same. First, understand your data. Is it numerical or categorical? Then think about how many groups you are comparing, 2 groups or more than 2. Finally, check how your data behaves. Is it normally distributed or skewed? Once these 3 questions are answered, the choice of statistical test becomes much easier and far less intimidating. Many of the most common confusions in medical research come from mixing up similar-looking concepts. For example, students often struggle with deciding between a t-test and the Mann-Whitney test. The simplest way to think about it is this: if your data is numerical and normally distributed, a t-test is usually appropriate for comparing 2 groups. But if the data is skewed or not normally distributed, the Mann-Whitney test is safer and more suitable. Another confusion happens between chi-square and Fisher's exact test. Both are used for categorical data, but Fisher's exact test is more accurate when the sample size is small or when expected values in cells are low. Then comes the question of mean versus median. If the data is evenly distributed, the mean gives a good summary. But if the data is skewed, the median gives a more realistic picture of the central value. Finally, one of the most misunderstood concepts is the difference between a p-value and clinical significance. A p-value may show that a result is statistically significant, but that does not always mean the difference is large enough to matter in real clinical practice. A small numerical difference can be statistically significant but clinically irrelevant, and understanding this difference is crucial for proper interpretation. From an editor's point of view, the expectation is not that every doctor should become a statistician. Editors and reviewers understand that clinicians focus mainly on patient care and research ideas. However, they do expect logical justification. They want to see that the chosen test matches the type of data, that the comparisons make sense, and that the interpretation is honest and balanced. Even simple analysis can be accepted if it is logical and clearly explained. On the other hand, using complex tests without understanding them often creates more problems than it solves. What matters most is clarity, consistency, and reasoning. As we come to the end, remember this simple truth: statistics should support your story, not sabotage it. Your research begins with a clinical question, moves through data collection, and ends with conclusions that can help patients. Statistics is just a tool that helps you present that story in a structured and credible way. When used correctly, it strengthens your work and builds confidence during thesis submission, Viva, and publication. Everything else becomes much easier, and your thesis stands on much stronger ground.